What's good, y'all? Welcome. You are now tuned in with the Snug Wrestling Podcast. Welcome to the show. Welcome to 2026. Welcome to the first SmackDown of the year and the first 3 hour SmackDown, too. We're going to go over it here tonight with the Snug Crew. They're all here, too. Mr. Blood, Tommy, and Toxic. Welcome, fellas. How y'all feeling tonight?
Not happy about the 3 hour return of SmackDown because I thought it was over at 10 and it kept going, and I was like, oh, hell. And I live on the East Coast, so show starts at 8 here and ends at 11 p.m. And then now we're doing a show for an hour for the review, so I won't be done until after midnight. The New Year's great. Ready for a reset on everything. That's awesome. Reset on hopefully some storylines, some characters. We're on the road to WrestleMania officially, so that's exciting. I'm extremely excited because after Christmas season, we get Mania season, and from now until April 18th and 19th, it's going to hopefully be balls to walls. And I'm really hoping for some better builds. Now that we're reset, we're fresh, I'm hoping for much better builds to Mania than what we got last year. But last year, we started off with a lot of promising stuff in January. You know, obviously, Cena came back for the Rumble. There's a lot of good stuff happening with Cody. We had a lot of great Punk stuff. So I'm hoping that this build, this start of this new year on what was really a really good SmackDown, mind you. First SmackDown of the year, 3 hours, yes, but some really great shit on here. Some surprising wins, in my opinion. But I'm excited. I'm in a great mood. I'm in a great mood for a fresh start of wrestling. And yeah, man, I think we're hopefully heading in the right direction.
Despite SmackDown being 3 hours, it was surprisingly a good show because, I mean, I remember whenever they were at 3 hours before they went to 2 recently, like the most recent time, when they were just trying to get the show over with. They were trying to stretch it out as possible. I mean, it would always be, I'm pretty sure, Cody and Kevin Owens finishing the show and then just. So, yeah, I'm happy that we're actually getting like a good 3 hour SmackDown, and let's just hope it's like that for the rest of their time that they're at 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but we're in a new era again. It felt like I know that term gets used a lot,
I'm sick
but
of that
it
term.
really did feel like that because we saw a bunch of new faces that we haven't seen on SmackDown before, which we'll get into. We've seen a couple new faces from NXT as well, and it just felt fresh. It felt new. It felt different. This episode of SmackDown, as it should. And it was like a nice little intro for what's to come for the rest of the year for this 2026. So yeah, I'm excited. Of course, a 3 hour was a big difference. It was a super long show, but it also meant that some of the matches went longer. I noticed too, like the main event was a little bit longer than usual. I think they went like 20 minutes at least, you know, the match with Carmelo Hayes. So overall, it was a longer show, but we got more wrestling. It definitely seemed like that. So that's always good. But let's get into it, you guys. We kicked off the show with The Miz, surprisingly. Now, talk about something new that we hardly ever see. The Miz starts off SmackDown, and I'm like, okay, he kind of hijacks the show, and he's doing his usual spiel where he's complaining that he didn't get a match with John Cena. And now that John Cena's gone, he's the face of the company. And he brought up a lot of good points, The Miz did. I was the first ever Grand Slam champion. These youngins backstage, they need to respect me. They don't respect me. But now that Cena's gone, I'm the new face of the company. I won this championship and that championship, and everyone should be looking up to me. And I'm like, God damn it. He brings up a good point because, I mean, he is one of the veterans now. Now that Cena's gone, you know, The Miz is there. And then Randy Orton's music hits. And then I'm like, okay, this is the face of the company. New year, Randy Orton's back. We haven't seen him in what feels forever. But what a way to kick off the new year with the Viper Randy Orton making his return and hitting The Miz with not one, but two RKO's. Welcome back, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Miz start the show. And the thing is, there is a reason that a lot of WWE talent and will straight up say the Miz is their most underrated professional wrestler. Whenever someone they're asking everybody, who's the most underrated wrestler you've ever been in the ring with? Who's the most underrated this? Who's this? Who's that? And the answer is literally always the Miz. He has that much respect from the boys and girls of the locker room. I mean, he's been with the company for 20 fucking years. 20 years. Okay. He's been a veteran since like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. But he is one of those old guard that's still around from that ruthless aggression era. And the very end of it, but he's a part of it. It's good to see Randy back. RKOing him is great. You got to play the hits. But here's the thing. We're about to go on the European tour, right? And I know that on the European tour, we're getting the Cody Drew match. I am really, really glad Randy's back, but I don't want him back unless he is starting this feud with Cody at some point or turning heel or finally running this program with Cody. Because when I really think about it, what is there for Randy to do? Like, I mean, think of everybody on the SmackDown roster right now. Everybody's involved in something that isn't over yet. Who is there for him to feud with that people are actually going to be interested in, that you would want to see Randy involved with, that you would be excited and hyped for, other than him being in the world title picture? And because KO is out on injury and surgery and recovery, I don't see anybody else for him to really be back for other than Cody. I really don't. If you're not going to do it, move him to Raw. Because to me, having Randy back is great, but he's always back for like a month and a half, 2 months, it seems like, and then he's gone for a month and a half to 3 months since he's returned to SmackDown. He came back from his injury, his surgery, everything else. He's literally like back for 2 months, gone for 3, back for 1 month, gone for 2. And it's like, if you don't have anything for him, keep him off TV, turn him into a part-timer, or move him to a different brand where there's more stories you could tell with him. But to me personally, love seeing him. Just wasn't expecting his return to be with The Miz.
Oh my God. Okay. Not that I'm hating on the Miz or anything, because yes, he is a veteran and he deserves to be I don't know how to say it, utilized, I think, way more than he is. And I mean, the fact that I can get him as a United States champion on 2K25 Universe mode without even doing anything, that's kind of sad. But anyways, the Miz, so much respect for him because, yeah, and Randy, just good to see him back. It's been since like what, SummerSlam?
I
That's
can't
what it
even
feels like.
remember the last time. It's been a
It,
while
it
though.
feels like, yeah, it feels like it's been since SummerSlam though. But yeah, good to see Randy back, and surprised that the Miz started the show off.
Well, first and foremost, Blood, you might be in luck here because literally one of the first people that Cody Rhodes saw backstage was Randy Orton. And he full blown told him that he's coming for that title. Like he came back for that title.
I was going to say, pause.
Fuck you.
He said he's coming. He said he's coming for that ass,
Yeah,
boy.
he
Is what
said
Randy said.
He said I'm coming for the WWE title. Is what fuck you.
I hope it buys him dinner first.
The point still stands. Randy was literally one of the first people that said that they were going after the WWE title. So there's that. And when it comes to Randy and Miz and all of that, I legitimately, when Randy came out, I'm like, well, when are you going to do it? You really have one thing in common when it comes to all of your like in-ring segments. When's the RKO coming? And then it did twice. And I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, Randy Orton did have a backstage segment with Cody Rhodes right after the opening segment with The Miz, where he said, I know you got this match with Drew, but after you're done with that, then I'm coming for the title. But Randy Orton is not the only one who made it clear that they're coming for Cody's championship. There was a couple other guys just on this show alone that made claims of just that same thing also, which, we'll talk about those names later on. Um, so yeah, man, excited to see Randy back. Excited to see that fucking feud between Randy and Cody. But I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot that Randy can do or feud with, like Kit Wilson. That'd be cool. No, I'm joking. Let's go on to the shout out to Ali Hamza says, hello, Mr. Tommy. Tommy, you got a lot of fans, bro. Every time we're on, the comments are always calling you out, bro, challenging you for your championships and shit.
There's still
But
one they have yet to go after. The only
yeah,
one that's not signed.
I'm surprised you're not wearing it, but yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bring him up all the time.
I'm Tommy's tag partner. To get through him or get to him, you got to go through me. But
And
then
I'll be-
I'm gonna turn heel on Tommy and take his title.
I'll be Tommy's wise man. I'll cut all the promos for you, Tommy.
You just walk
And I guess
through,
I'll just be the ref.
Tommy.
And then
I
Tox
guess I'll
could be
just be the ref.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like, and
The
Tommy
fast count.
here, he's gonna come after that ass, boy.
Oh God.
Okay.
Toxic, do the fast count. 1, 2, 3. That ref was trying to fuck on me.
Yeah. Yeah, Tox. Just don't do that, Tox, and you'll be just fine.
1, 2. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if I count to 3. All right. What does matter is this opening match, the 8-woman tag team match. And it was actually really good. At first, I was like, oh my God, here we go. All these fucking women, there's 8 women in this match, and this match is going to be whatever, right? Well, it wasn't, because they set the tone for this really much better show than I expected for SmackDown, right? And on one side, you had Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus the heels, who are the Kabuki Warriors, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax. And just what a fucking team we had on the babyface side. Alexa Bliss started off the match, and it felt like they did like not 1, not 2, but 3 hot tags in this match, because all of the baby faces on that team are all huge fucking stars. When they tagged in Charlotte Flair, the people pop big, and Charlotte Flair hits the ring, and she gets her offense, and the people are getting behind Charlotte. And then it's like, oh shit, well, Io Sky hasn't been tagged in, she gets tagged in, the place blows up, and Io Sky does her shit, and I'm like, holy fuck, they really built up to that final Rhea Ripley hot tag, because that was the one that was really gonna blow the place up, and it did. Rhea Ripley got the last tag of the match. Boom, the whole place explodes. That's when everything starts to break down. And Lash Legend again looked really fucking good tonight. I got to point that out. But man, it was a great opening match. I got to say, I got to be honest, I was really impressed by this one, fellas.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out probably my favorite wrestling podcast that isn't ours, Wrestle Talk. I listen to him every day. And one thing Ollie Davis, who's the main presenter and the owner of the company, always says is whenever WWE used to throw all the women just into one thing together because they didn't have anywhere else from on the show back in the day before they were booking them properly, he would always go, all of WWE's women standing in a row. And he would do that like every single show review because WWE would book the women the same way for like 6 months. So it became a segment on their show, which tells you just how far they've come with this booking. Now, though we still see all these women involved in the same match, like you said, look at the teams. The babyface side is all fucking multi-time women's world champions, okay? And then on the other side, you have Nia Jax, multiple-time world champion. You have Asuka, multiple time world champion. You have Kairi Sane, multiple world tag team champion. And then you have Lash Legend, up and coming badass. And, I think the only, as much as we're bitching about the 3 hours, right? Because it is a long show. They get to have these shows breathe a little bit better. You feel like the matches have more time to cook, more time to breathe. They don't just sometimes, on a 2 hour show, you'll have a match that's like starts off really slow and then ramps up, just immediately goes to the finish. And it feels like there's never a middle in the match. Well, with these matches tonight, I feel like almost every match, specifically this one, because of all the hot tags too, which really made me recognize it, felt like it had a first, a second, and a third act to the entire match. Baby faces win because Rhea fucking just cradles Kairi off of a reversal from the top rope and then just looks at her, headbutts her like she's cradling a baby, and headbutts this chick right in the face, and then sets her down, picks her up, riptide. But I do want to shout out just how good Lash Legend does in fact look, because you're right, Snug. I think my favorite moment of the match was Io Sky doing the doing her thing, her drop kick, hits the ground, kip up to a bounder front flip, me, and you see Rhea on the ropes. And then she gets pump kicked by Lash Legend. And aside from the fact that Io just sold the hell out of it, like Lash Legend really laid that in, and she just looks great. When I look at Lash Legend, she's everything that I wish Jade Cargill was. Let me put it that, and I mean that wholeheartedly, because Lash knows how to wrestle. Lash understands timing and cueing, and she can do the power stuff, but she looks and seems confident in the ring. Because they just threw Jade Cargill in there with Bianca and had Bianca cover all of Jade's weaknesses. And they have Lash up there with Nia to help cover her weaknesses, but also help her navigate what's going on in the main roster. So it's protecting Lash. But Lash, in my opinion, is a much more competent wrestler because she only had one place that trained her versus Jade, who's got two different companies' formats in her head. But I really do like how this match went. It was a great opener. And I think everybody came out of this looking great.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to this match because, I mean, not that I didn't think it was going to be a good match. It's because, I mean, we just see a combination of Rhea, Io, Asuka, Kyrie, and something with Alexa and Charlotte and Nia. And it's just, I'm just like, we're just seeing the combinations again, but the heels are with the heels and the faces are with the faces. I'm not going to be interested if I'm not interested in the single matches. So, yeah, not a lot of thoughts.
I mean, I get that, Tox. I do, especially with how much we've seen all of this combo. But those hot tags as well, absolutely immaculate, perfect timing, everything else. Of course, Rhea, right after doing her thing, looks over at Io and just goes, "Hey, let's go." Tags her in. She gets that final pin. I absolutely love that as well. So there is literally nothing that I personally feel went wrong here. It's definitely not match of the night, but it's still
Really quick, I did forget to say something. It's very quick. I did want to say one thing I really enjoyed about the match, because we're not going to get a lot of that here in a couple weeks when they hit Saudi. The gear tonight, I felt for most of these one was on point, but Charlotte's gear tonight I thought was incredible, and it captured. The gear captures attention. Her gear, just like I was locked in. I couldn't stop looking at her gear. But I just wanted to say that because when they go to Saudi, they're going to be fucking head to toe covered, not be able to rock all these great pieces of material they have made. But the women all looked great tonight, not just wrestling, but they looked great in their presentation.
Interesting. I didn't even notice. I mean, I guess I just personally, it doesn't really make a difference to me what the fuck they wear, if I'm being honest. But hey, That's just me. Um, the other thing too, like that exclamation point that they did at the end of this match with Io Sky pinning Kyrie, saying they're gonna have a match next week for the women's tag team titles, and it's like, well, are they gonna be able to do that again? Are we gonna get new champions? And I think it's safe to say that we will. I got Io and Rio winning on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, that was like a nice little tease of what we might see at the title match in a few days. All right, what did we have after this? We had that's right, one of my favorite moments of the show. Kit Wilson, my guy, had an open challenge match, and he got a new theme. He got a new entrance because I guess his tag team partner's still injured. We haven't seen him in forever, but at least Kit Wilson, he's being featured now in a solo, a solo run, and his mystery opponent was Zack Ryder. Nay, he was introduced as Matt Cardona, and not only that, Michael Cole mentioned it is official. Matt Cardona has signed with the WWE, and he is part of the SmackDown roster officially. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. He's back. He's here to stay, and he's Matt Cardona. I was really happy about that. And he got to win this match too. He had a nice little match versus Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson didn't look half bad, I got to be honest. But the right guy won here, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting repackage of Kit Wilson. They've dropped the Yes Boy stuff. He seemed much more serious, but now his new thing seems to be screaming at everybody, calling them, saying they're toxic. It's fine that you repackaged him, but if you were going to repackage him, I wish you would have just repackaged him completely away from the flamboyant stuff, because I feel like I really wanted to see those guys at some point be very, very serious threats, because I could buy them in the singles division or the tag division if they weren't like prancing around dressed and wrestling and acting like undercard. So, when I saw him tonight, I was like, oh, serious. And then he's like, toxic, toxic, toxic. And then not this one. And then literally was just like dressed in that, super high waist fucking. I was like, they're keeping the flamboyant stuff. And I have nothing against their pretty boy stuff, or their yes boy stuff. I like that stuff when they're together. Individually, it doesn't work, and if they're not going to be together anymore, I feel like a serious heel repackage would have been in order. Love the return of Matt Cardona. They remixed his track, so instead of it doing the full woo woo woo, all the radio, it was literally woo woo woo. And then he got his new theme mixed in, and it was great. One of Def Rebel's better mixes. He looked great. Rough Rider is always fun to see. Glad he signed. And when it comes to it, Matt Cardona is when I look at wrestlers, Matt Cardona is like the epitome of will it into the universe for yourself. This guy got fucked out of his original run in WWE, screwed just because he got himself over. Oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to be successful in the industry I work in. And then made a name for himself and became the king of the indies. He willed that into existence by working his ass off, saying, I will be the best and biggest star out here. And he fucking did that. He willed and said for years, I have gear already made for whenever they bring me back to WWE. It's already made, meaning he was prepared. He said, I had it made as soon as I left. He willed it into the universe that he would get back here one day, and he's now back here officially. He has built himself up as such a big star with hardcore wrestling fans and fans who already knew who he was just from WWE mainstream. Proud of him. Really happy to see him back. And it was a nice, fun little way to reintroduce him to the crowd. But I like that he's not Zack Ryder. I like that he's Matt Cardona, because I feel like that's a fresh start for him back in the company.
Yeah, 100% agree. I feel like having him as Matt Cardona rather than Zack Ryder was I mean, such a better thing than having him, or such a better decision than having him as Zack Ryder, because I mean that's what he was whenever he got screwed and got himself over. So I mean, if you want to bring him back, I say let him do what he wants with his name and like his character and stuff, but not like don't let him take full control, but just let him do the basic stuff like his name, the character, and yeah. But happy to see Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder or whatever you want to call him. He's the same person. I'm happy to see him back.
I am also so happy to see this guy back, especially with everything that he's been through and all of that in the past. Then he went to TNA. Now he's back in WWE. People who actually watch NXT will know that he's even been going by Matt Cardona when he was down there for a bit. Like, not while he was fully in NXT, because he wasn't, but still, that's just how the NXT fans at least knew him. So him being back, so happy with that. Kit Wilson, what the hell? His entire thing was extremely weird. I did not like it. And personally, at least right now, he seriously needs his partner there. Or else, for me, he just goes downhill.
To Kit Wilson's credit, I did like his new finish. They call it the tourniquet. It looks like an inverted twist of fate. And I think Matt sold it very, very well for him on a very first time view of the audience seeing this new finish. Because I couldn't tell you what the fuck their last finish was. I swear I have no idea what finishing maneuver that they used to use. But I still think, to Kit's credit, aside from all the praise to Matt Cardona we're giving, well-deserved praise, mind you, I do think Kit Wilson at least deserves praise for, aside from the character shit we're not all on board for, most of us anyway, I like that he still looked great in his reintroduction as far as in-ring work.
Kit Wilson is a future undisputed champion. I'm calling it now.
Get out.
Yeah, no, dude. Again, fucking Matt Cardona, part of SmackDown officially, and on the same brand as his wife, which I'm sure that's always nice. And I also noticed when he had Kit Wilson set up in sitting down in that corner where he usually does the woo 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 and then hits him with the boot. He didn't do that. So it kind of made me feel like the WWE had to, at first in the Titantron, it said Zack Ryder because the last time we saw him, he was introduced as Zack Ryder. So like they're trying to transition into, well, we can't just bring him back as Matt Cardona like out of nowhere just like that. So I think eventually they're gonna start getting away from that Zack Ryder thing that they did years ago, and Matt Cardona is really gonna be able to be himself now. He's not gonna be doing the woo 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 thing anymore. I'm willing to bet.
As they should, because look, he himself doesn't have a problem with it. He was interviewed on Chris Van Vliet a while ago, and he said, he goes, because Chris asked him, if they brought you back as Zack Ryder, would you be okay with that? He goes, absolutely. And he goes, I just want to go back. They can bring me back as Matt Cardona. They can bring me back as Zack Ryder. I'm game for anything. And that's what I like about him. He has such a positive attitude towards it that this is why he's here, because he's willing to play the game, willing to do the right type of business without being the guy that makes it difficult. And when it comes to Matt Cardona himself, I think that it makes total sense for WWE. Why wouldn't you guys want him to come back as Matt Cardona? He's the king of the indies. He is the go-to guy when you need directions, you need to know how to start your career, when you get kicked out of whatever company you're in. You call this guy. He built himself up. He is in my opinion, he is a self-made star, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody says. He might have had WWE's platform, but he made himself the star that he's into. He made himself into the star he's into the first run, then when he got fired, and now that he's back. So Matt Cardona is much better than Zack Ryder because it allows him to go, all that work I put into the name Matt Cardona is now on WWE TV. And it's going to bring a lot of those indie fans of his, maybe who aren't WWE fans, and bring them in to watch him. And I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, and it kind of gives me hope for like some of the other guys that have been released recently that people like Karrion Cross. There is second chances. I think it kind of sends a good message like, hey, we're going to bring back Zack Ryder, but we're going to let him do his thing as Matt Cardona. Maybe that'll light the fire under some people's asses, that are grinding in the indies right now that want to come back. I don't know. It's just a thought. Speaking of new faces and people we haven't seen in a long time, that it was kind of refreshing to see Sami Zayn. We saw him come back. I'm really glad to see him back. Another guy that we haven't seen him on TV. Well, he was on TV at John Cena's final match, but he was sitting in the front row. He wasn't part of the show, but he was there. And Sami Zayn cut one hell of a promo, for his first time being back in the new year on SmackDown, in however long he's been gone for, where he talks about being world champion, how they were sitting in front of Cena's match, front row for Cena's match. He was with his son, and the promo he cut was so real, and it connected, I'm sure, with a lot of people. John Cena's never seen 17, but how come you've never won that championship, Dad? And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy, right? So great promo by Sammy, and he's like, hey, this time I'm being for real. This time I really am gonna win that championship. I'm gonna bring it home to my son, basically, because I've never won it before. And I'm thinking perfect timing because we're right around the corner from Royal Rumble. That's gonna be in Saudi. So hey, Sami Zayn has a pretty good fucking chance to win that Rumble, go to WrestleMania, and hell, maybe even become WWE Undisputed Champion. But right before Sami Zayn's time got cut, we got a call up, it seems like. Trick Williams was on SmackDown, and I popped really big for that. Trick Willie. He's so cool, man. Man, I'm so glad he's going to be called up. He goes face to face with Sami Zayn. Trick Williams cuts a promo on Sami. They have a nice little face off. And it's good to see both of these guys on SmackDown. I know I said the last segment was one of my favorites, but this segment right here was another one of my favorite segments of the show, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think that Sami Zayn promo was awesome. If you're a parent, or if you've ever felt like you've been comparing, you've ever been, what's the old adage? Comparison is the thief of joy. You go through your life because you're trying to make something for yourself. But then there's this other guy next to you who's above you in some regard, who's accomplished all the things you wish you could accomplish. And you start to have some kind of jealousy or an envy, or even if they're your friend, but you're happy for them. But at the same time, you're like, well, if they can have that, I can have that. But you find it hard to achieve it. And then you usually let it go inside because you're trying to realize that you don't need that thing to make you happy. Until one person you deeply care about looks at you and goes, hey, well, they did it. How come you haven't done it? And then you're forced to face the real feelings you've bottled down so you can maintain a modicum of humility and respect. Because now someone has brought that jealousy out of you, that competitiveness out of you, that unfortunate need to compare yourself out of you. And I feel like everybody has had a moment like that in their life. You try to stay good, you try to take the high road, and then someone reminds you that maybe you're not good enough. Even if they remind you unintentionally, like Sammy's son. And I thought that hit really hard. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. Sammy is my pick for the Royal Rumble. I said it several weeks ago. I said it, I think on Thursday night on our one-on-one. Check that episode out live on Apple and Spotify. If you didn't catch it live, that is the recorded episode is there. But it's in Saudi. If you were, and I said this before too, if you were ever going to have Sammy win the Rumble, it's got to be in Saudi. You don't have to have him win the big one at Mania. But WrestleMania 43 next year is in Saudi. So if you have him win the Rumble this year, go on to not win at Mania at 42. You retell the story of the climb next year, like you did with Cody, like you did with Jay. And then WrestleMania 43, you crown him next year, but it starts tonight. The story of next year will be the redemption of Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia. And I thought Trick coming out was cool, nice call up. Glad we got a new face. However, I was very bored by his promo. I was entertained by his charisma, but I thought he said way too much of the same shit over and over again. You know, Adam Pearce called me because he needed someone who was this great and this great and this great and tall and this great and handsome and this great and amazing and can wrestle and I'm this great. And then he finally goes, and Sammy, you know, I'm not the guy who almost wins like you. I'm the guy that doesn't. And I'm just like, you just said the same thing 20 different ways for 2 minutes and then finally made it about Sammy. And then Sammy retorts, I'm going to teach you a lesson in humility. So I guarantee we're getting a match next week. But I thought the Sammy stuff was the strongest point of this segment.
There's just a lot that I have, but I'm gonna try and brief it down a little bit. Definitely, Sammy is one of the picks that I feel like many people have for the Rumble this year. Also, as in like a guy as in like Randy, because I mean, to be honest, everyone that came up to Cody backstage, they are a potential winner for Royal Rumble. I mean, just anyways, the promo was fine. I mean, yeah, I totally agree with Blood. Everyone has probably had a moment like that. I know I have. Probably Tommy has. Edgar or Snug. My God, excuse me. Snug probably has, but just that probably hit hard for him. And yeah, Trick. I'm so glad he is getting called up as long or along with Oba because we've been getting like video packages. I want to say of Obafemi, and it's just Obafemi's name in blue. So we obviously know that he's going to the blue brand, and then we know Javon's going to Raw. So I feel like those brands get the NXT star power from like three of the greats in NXT right now, and they bring him up. But Trick versus Sammy next week is going to cook because it was announced. Um, and yeah, happy with this segment.
Both of you are wrong. That match is not against Sammy. It's against Ray Phoenix.
That's true.
So Trick is still getting his debut match. It's just not going to be against Sammy like we all originally thought from this specific promo.
Why'd I forget about Ray Phoenix?
Plus that. But I will say that there was one thing I was hoping, and that is the fact that we are like 3 weeks out from Rumble.
Mhm.
Why the hell hasn't anyone declared themselves for the Rumble yet? Like, no one has said it. Last year, we had like 6 weeks in a row of someone declaring themselves for the Rumble. And that's what I thought was going to happen here. When
Yeah,
he
that's a
said
good
that
point.
he's coming for the world title, and what I thought right before Trick's music hit was, and I'm declaring myself for the Rumble. That is what I really, really hoped he would say.
Mm.
But unfortunately, then Trick Williams came out and that went off the rails. So, yeah, just had us hanging there a little bit, hoping he would declare it, only for Trick to come through.
Yeah, that's a really good point, man. We are getting closer and closer to the Rumble, and I don't know, it just feels like lately when it comes to the PLEs, the buildups are like very, very last minute, unfortunately, which I hate to say, but um yeah, don't we have a Saturday Night's main event too this month that they're probably building
Yes,
towards?
the
Okay,
first
that's
one.
probably why. Yeah.
Because we're getting like 4 a year now. There'll be, I think, 2 in the first half of every year and then 2 in the last half. So
That's probably why they haven't announced or made any Rumble, comments or whatever. But the other thing,
I think I want to speak on that really quick, and I apologize for interrupting you. Um, the main reason I would say I don't think that they're just declaring themselves this year. Last year, the reason they declared themselves for the Rumble is because John Cena did it first, and everybody was declaring because it was his last Rumble. So they were declaring left and right because it was all these main eventers that were going to be in the most stacked, star-studded Rumble of all time because it was Cena's last Rumble. And they made such a huge deal out of it that everybody's like, well, I'm going to be in there and I'm going to be the one to throw John Cena over. I'm going to win. So I think that's why it was a much bigger deal last year.
Going back to this thing with Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, like Randy Orton, he declared that he's going after Cody Rhodes. Technically, Sami Zayn saying he wants to be world champion. He's on SmackDown. He's referring to Cody's undisputed champion. Trick Williams also ended his promo the same way. I'm here to be world champion. And again, I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking, motherfuckers, the world champion is on Raw, but okay, I get what you guys are saying. But I can listen to Trick Williams cut promos all day, man. I think Trick Williams is my favorite wrestler now of all time. There, I said it. Besides Kit Wilson. No, I'm kidding about Kit Wilson, but for real, this is how it should be. Everyone that gets called up, everyone should want to come after the champion, which is Cody. So Cody, he's gonna have his hands full here with this one, and then with Obafemi also being shown or featured on SmackDown. Man, SmackDown, because it's 3 hours, man. They're really stacking it up with all these stars. But any closing thoughts? Anything else you guys want to say about Sammy and Trick here?
I think, well, actually, I wanted to say something about Oba. But when you said Oba's coming as well, I thought, well, as soon as Cody's done with Drew in that feud, I could see Oba trying to go for the championship, and then Drew screws him over as payback for Saturday night's main event. And I think the next feud we could be looking at in the first main roster feud for Oba is Drew. But when it comes down to it, with Trick, like, you just got here, you've been here for 5 seconds. Why don't you try mid-card title first, and let's see if you're world title material. That's my thought.
Here's a problem with that. The current U.S. champion is Carmelo Hayes, and they have a long fucking history from back in NXT, and I don't think we need to see that again in the main roster.
I think we do, because the majority of the main roster fans don't watch NXT, so they haven't seen that program.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that Trick Williams can do. I mean, he's going to wrestle Rey Fenix next week. That should be dope. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is there. Which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, when it comes to Obafemi, just really quick, Tommy, and then I'll let you go. He's still NXT champion. So I'm kind of interested how that's going to play out. Obafemi has a title match on Tuesday on NXT versus Leon Slater. I think Obafemi shows up next week on SmackDown I think they're in Berlin for the 3 Stages of Hell match. I think that's when we see Obafemi, but we'll see what happens. Go ahead, Tommy.
There was a couple things with Trick Williams that overall kind of made me cringe a little bit, like when he referred to himself as fucking dark chocolate, like he does in fucking NXT all the time. I'm like, why the hell are you doing that?
Let's talk about it.
When it comes to Oba as well, with the fact that we saw his name in blue, that means one of 2 things. Either they are doing exactly what they did with Kevin Owens during the Black and Gold days with pulling him up while he's champion, or Snug, we basically got our ending for that match via SmackDown.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome Trick Willie to SmackDown. And speaking of Trick Willie, his former BFF, his best friend forever, Carmelo Hayes, he announced that he's going to continue the open challenge after this week. But on this episode of SmackDown, he wrestled Johnny Gargano, and this match was really fucking long. And I'm gotta be honest with you guys, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. This is not a good start for me. How I'm feeling, Carmelo Hayes' new U.S. title run because his first week as being champion, he defends versus Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano beat the fuck out of Carmelo Hayes throughout most of this match. And it took Carmelo Hayes forever to beat Johnny Gargano, of all people, where they went like 20 fucking minutes. And that to me doesn't scream this is a strong, convincing United States champion. If it takes you this long to beat Johnny Gargano, it's kind of hard for me to believe that you're going to have a long and lengthy title run. What are you going to do if you face Tama Tonga or Tommaso Ciampa or some other more serious competitors?
Shinsuke.
So Shinsuke Nakamura, it's just like, oh my God. But Carmelo Hayes retained, but I wasn't too happy of the outcome, if I'm being honest.
I gotta completely disagree with you, man. You guys are forgetting who the fuck Johnny Gargano is. That's Johnny Wrestling. That guy was the biggest star in NXT Black and Gold. He was one of the biggest deals on the planet on the Indies. He was the reason at one point NXT was on the map with him and him and Tommaso Ciampa.
Time out, Mr. Blood.
Well,
Didn't you just say nobody watches NXT?
They did when it was Black and Gold, brother, because it was more popular than main roster TV during the Black and Gold brand. Because Black and Gold was during that horrible late 20 or early 2010s era.
How long ago was that?
Like 2012 to 2015. That was a big deal back then. And you're forgetting Johnny Gargano, the stand and delivers that they did, the takeovers that they did, those are the same shows that put Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and like all of those girls on the map. Those shows. Those are the ones that made them stars. Johnny Gargano was an NXT champion multiple times. He was a stable leader. Johnny Gargano, when he got called up to the main roster like 2 years ago, in case you're forgetting, they had him having competitive matches with everybody, and he was beating everybody for like 2 straight months. You are forgetting just how good this guy is. I wouldn't count him out just because he's a tag wrestler. This guy is Johnny fucking Wrestling. He is a better wrestler than Carmelo Hayes, period. Carmelo is a nice, flashy wrestler. Johnny Gargano was at one point the highest prospected wrestler on the independent scene at one point, even more than that of Matt Cardona. So this match to me was fantastic. The audience loved it. They got "This is awesome" chants. It was hard hitting. Blood got spilt. Right guy won, but it was a hard fought match, which is what you want. The only thing I'm worried about the United States Championship picture is I don't want a heel to win it. Because if a heel wins it, the open challenge is over. Because they're gonna be chicken shit. They're not gonna be willing to put themselves at risk. So the only thing I can see about this title, this championship open challenge, is that it has to kind of keep getting won by baby faces. Otherwise, we lose the luster of the open challenge. And I think you almost book yourself into a corner that way.
Okay, not that I don't like seeing the open challenges, because I love seeing the open challenges. I mean, when Sammy brought them back, we got major matches that, I mean, could have went either way and still worked properly. Like, for instance, Javon Evans versus Sami Zayn. That could have went either way and still been a good decision. I mean, like, it's just, I'm starting to get bored of it. I'm starting to get bored of it just a little bit. Ilya, he did what he had to with the United States Championship, and now Carmelo Hayes, either he needs like a really good run and have like really good matches and like an actual open challenge, and like instead of like, oh, this person comes out, oh, and he's the open challenge, and yeah, just I feel like we need the actual open challenge, like where he comes out first and then whoever he's wrestling comes out after, because that to me feels like an actual open challenge, not just
Like a
advertising.
surprise, like a
Yeah.
surprise competitor. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but kind of. Anyways, I'm glad that Carmelo Hayes retained. Right guy won. I mean, just how are you gonna compare him to Johnny Gargano like that? Like saying, "Oh, Johnny lost the NXT North American Championship and the NXT Championship on his first defense." How are you? I mean, just they're obviously not going to have Carmelo lose after they did that. So happy he retained.
I will say that at this point, I do not think that Carmelo Hayes would be able to handle, say, a returning Jacob Fatu when that ends up happening. Like, at that,
Jacob would probably be in the world championship picture.
well, we all thought that when it comes to Damian Priest, but he had one cash in and then they dropped it. So there's that. But I will say that this whole match, it was iffy for me. It's like I absolutely have my match of the night. That's main event for sure, but we'll get there. But still, like for me, I feel like this could have been shorter a little bit.
Yeah, shorter. Short. Johnny Gargano is short. No, I'm just kidding. That was a terrible joke. All right, let's move on. Let's skip ahead a little bit to the Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes segment. So they have their 3 Stages of Hell match next week in Germany. And tonight we found out what the 3 stipulations are going to be. Drew McIntyre had the ability to pick whatever matches he wanted, right? For the stipulation. So he went with the first fall is going to be a regular traditional wrestling match. The second one is going to be falls count anywhere, which means no disqualification. And the third one, if by some miracle, according to Drew McIntyre, they have to go to the third and final fall, which I believe they are, but we'll do predictions when we do predictions. We're not doing predictions. It's not a PLE. Never mind. Scratch that. The third fall would be a steel cage match, which I do think they are going to go to the third fall because, I mean, we have to see the cage, right? I mean, we're not just going to have the cage and be like, oh, we're not going to use it, right? So I think it's safe to say we will see the cage match, which I think that's where Obafemi is going to come out. But it doesn't end there because Drew McIntyre is really trying to get under Cody Rhodes' skin here because if Cody hits Drew McIntyre, even so touches him with a fingertip, Cody Rhodes loses his WWE title. So Drew McIntyre is doing the most to make that happen. And on this episode of SmackDown, Drew McIntyre went in Cody's tour bus. He got, one of his most prized possessions, which was a picture frame of Cody and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And he took that and he broke it. And then he went to the ring and lit the picture on fire. Drew McIntyre doing typical haterade shit like Drew McIntyre knows best. Yeah, man, they're just heating up this match next week. I'm already sold on it. I've been sold on it. So seeing this type of behavior from Drew McIntyre is just so entertaining to me.
Yeah, I think this is stupid. Because at the end of the day, look, the last time I remember even seeing a 3 Stages of Hell match, they said it happened like 12 or 13 years ago. Clearly it wasn't memorable enough to even, like, who was in it, The last time I remember a good 3 Stages of Hell match was like Triple H and Shawn Michaels like 20-something years ago, okay? And that involved a fucking like Hell in a Cell, if I remember correctly. So when it comes down to it, I think you're going to have a stipulation as crazy and could be any combination of matches you want, right? And 2 of them are no DQ or falls count anywhere, no DQ matches, okay? And then, or sorry, two of them are no DQ because there's no disqualification in falls count anywhere. There's no disqualification in a cage match. So 2 are just no DQ matches. One's just you're in this specific area, and the first one's a regular match. So I wonder how quick the first fall is going to come. I wonder how quick the second fall is going to come, and I wonder how quick the cage match is going to be, because unless you're making this whole match an hour, it's going to be within half an hour, 30 minutes. And if there's commercials, then you're going to miss quite a bit of it. So I'm just thinking televised wise, this is going to go like 22 to 28 minutes, maybe. It'll be 40 actual minutes with 12 to 14 minutes of commercials. So I'm not overly excited that this is on fucking free TV. Shit should be on a PLE, or it should be on a Saturday Night's Main Event, or it should be somewhere else where this stipulation would mean more. And I think the stipulation choices should have been different. Ones that actually fucking matter. A one-on-one match, then a falls count anywhere, and then a steel cage. And the steel cage means interference from someone, and I guarantee you Oba's coming to help Cody retain because of how they left last Saturday Night's Main Event. But I'll tell you the main reason I'm not into any of this. Aside from the fact that they just threw Drew in there with Cody because Jacob got hurt late in the summer and had to go in for surgery for his jaw or whatever the fuck it was, or his teeth. What Drew's doing makes no sense. At what point in this story, in this feud, have we heard that if Cody touches Drew, he's stripped of the title, and then the title's automatically awarded to Drew? Never.
Is that what's happening?
No, that's the thing. If Cody touches Drew, he's stripped of the title. So why is Drew trying so hard to get Cody to touch him? If he touches you, Drew, it doesn't automatically make you fucking champion. It would be vacated.
Yeah.
And then you would have to fight even harder to get it through a tournament.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, that's
stupid.
pretty.
You want the title so bad.
It's simple.
But you won't get it just because he gets it taken from him.
That's not the point. The point is.
This is the point.
The point is, Drew McIntyre is screwing with Cody Rhodes. What better way to screw with him to be like, hey, I was the reason you're not champion. Even though he's not champion, Drew McIntyre still takes pride in being the reason why,
but that's
Cody's not champion.
But through Drew's own words, that's idiotic. He said it tonight. I know everybody's talking that there's no snowball's chance in hell that Drew McIntyre is ever going to be WWE Undisputed Champion anytime soon. So if the whole point is you want to take what you believe is yours, what you thought the bloodline robbed from you all those years, this has been your whole character for 4 years now. The bloodline screws you. You turn heel. They keep screwing you. Every time you have a title match, you get screwed. You want the title. You've won a title. That's been your character for 4 years. So literally, now when you have a chance to get it, the stipulation is if the guy who's the champion touches you, he loses it. It doesn't automatically afford you the championship. Why are you trying to risk your shot?
Because it's petty. It's just petty.
But it screws him too.
I see what you're saying now. So like yeah, okay. So in that sense, okay, yeah. Drew McIntyre, if he gets hit, Cody's not the champion, so there's no match.
There's no champion either.
Yeah.
So to
That's
me,
true.
in 4 years of your character, 2 of those years you were a babyface fighting for that title, getting screwed over and over and over and over and over again by Roman Reigns. And the other 2 years you're heel and you're getting screwed on Raw because you've been trying to get the title. You get screwed by Drew. You get screwed at Mania by Punk. You get screwed by Punk again. Every chance you have to fight Cody, the ref goes down. This happens. Your whole plight has been, there's a conspiracy to keep me from becoming the WWE champion. I should be champion right now. Every time, that's his gripe. So if it's in the palm of your hands, why are you risking the title getting vacated rather than solidifying your one chance to actually grab it in the ring in a sanctioned match? That's my problem. It's stupid. Unless freaking Nick Aldis said, Cody, if you touch Drew McIntyre, I strip you of the title and I give it straight to him. Mm-hmm. We haven't heard that.
I got a list of things that I want to go over. One, what's with Drew stealing everyone's shit? We got CM Punk's bracelet from that he got from a fan. We got Damien's chain that I don't think he ever got back. And what's it called? Cody's picture of his dad. I mean, what's it with Drew and stealing people's shit? Leave your hands to yourself. Two, I also think it's fucking stupid. Like the stages part. Why have a steel cage when you can do a ladder match? A ladder match would just be better because I mean at the same time, we didn't hear that the match is off if Cody touches Drew. I don't think we heard that part in the agreement, but there would still be a match, but I don't I don't know. It's just stupid. And then obviously you're gonna have Oba help Cody, and we're gonna get that feud for Oba's first feud, which badass first feud. But the thing is, I don't even think Drew's taking it off of Cody. I don't think it'll be Oba. I don't think it'll be Randy, Sammy. I think it'll be Jacob. Even though he's maybe not ready yet, I
Roman.
think he no.
The rumors are that Roman and Cody 3 is
Yeah,
this year.
I heard the rumors. I know the rumors, but I just don't see it happening. But there's a lot of things going on with this that make no sense, and there's a lot of things that are going on with this that makes a lot of sense.
Well, we haven't seen Roman in a hot minute. So once he shows up, we can actually build to that more. But what I will say is this. When was the last time we saw somebody not only steal something from their opponent, but in the ring, burn it right in front of them to piss them off?
Kane did it. No, I don't know.
But that's still my point exactly. What I was going to say at the beginning before technical difficulties decided to be a bitch to me is this. SmackDown a couple of times had me screaming, Attitude Era! Because it was this moment here, and then it was the main event as well that I was also thinking that, but we'll get to that later. But still, this entire thing with Drew made me scream Attitude Era this entire segment.
Yeah, I said the same thing when I saw Kit Wilson. All right, but for real, you guys, new year, new champion. Chelsea Green versus Julia. And well, actually, I don't think I could say new champion because she's the former champion and she's the second time champion of the women's United States title. And what? How long did Chelsea Green have it for? Like 3 months, 2 months, something like that. So it's back on Julia. Thoughts on that, fellas?
Stupid as shit. All this did was reinforce what I said last week, the week before last week. You need more fucking women in this goddamn division or fucking retire the belt. There have been 3 United States Women's Champions since the week after WrestleMania last year. 3. Zelina Vega, Chelsea Green, and Julia. 3. My brothers in Christ, it's been almost 9 months, and only 3 people have held that title. One of them held it once, and the other 2 have held it twice. How have we had 5 reigns in 9 months, and it's only been the same 3 people? You need to put women in this division or get rid of this division, because I didn't give a shit that Julia won it back. And you know who else didn't give a shit? The entire audience in live attendance. No one cares. There's no fanfare for Julia. There's tons for Chelsea. No one gives a shit about Julia because you fucked up her entire run when she came up on the main roster. She could have been something great, something awesome in the women's world division. Nope. She could have been something in the tag division. Nope. You put her in the one division no one even remembers exists until they see a match revolving around it. And it's done nothing for her. If you ask me, the entire United States women's division is only there for Chelsea Green. That's what it fucking feels like. It only exists for Chelsea Green. She was the inaugural champion, and it feels like it was made for her, had a ceremony for her, crowned for her, built for her, and then given back to her several times now, just so you could get Chelsea over with the fans and keep her there. It serves no other purpose because no one else is in this division, and the other women that are in this division, and at this point, because they moved Zelina Vega to a fucking managerial role, there's 2 women in this division, and it's not even doing anything for one of them. Get rid of it.
You know, I thought of a way to actually fix this division, which it's far gone. I don't even think there's any fixing it. But we did see Jordan Grace backstage, and I'm like, oh, that's probably the missing piece. Fuck no, you're gonna put her in the world title scene with Jade. That, I mean, just you ruined that chance to fix that division. I mean, look at the other 2 brands women's mid card titles, Intercontinental Championship. They fixed that real quick with Maxine taking it off of Becky. It's still messed up, but it's good. NXT Women's North American Championship, goated. Why can't this one be like that?
I forgot about Michin.
Oh yeah,
Injured.
and she's injured. Yay! And she got moved out of the Women's United States Championship picture and moved into the World Championship picture after Jade and B-Fab, and I don't know, the SmackDown Women's divisions is screwed up in my opinion. They need to get someone to fix that.
I love how B-Fab is having matches with Jade Cargill, but she's not having them with Chelsea Green or Julia or like.
Exactly. You need to. Why are you putting people in? So basically, okay, you can have Maxine Dupree beat Becky Lynch, the man, but you can't have B-Fab beat Julia, Zelina Vega, Chelsea Green. Do something to fix this division because I'm right there with Blood. Retire the damn belt.
We need call-ups from NXT from the women's division. We need bring
Sol
Sol Ruka up,
Ruka
bring
and Zarya
up. Like for real. Because if not, why is that title taking up TV time?
Blood, I literally was about to fucking say that. So, Sol, Zarya, great call-ups. There's one other that I would also call up, though. I have a feeling like the women's division down in NXT has plenty where if you take out like 3 or 4, you're fine. One of them being, for me, the GTA font queen herself, Miss Parker. So I honestly would not mind if Jada Parker came up and joined that United States title division as well.
Tommy, here's the problem I have with that. Jada Parker is the same way as Javon Evans is. They need to win a title in NXT before you call them up. Because I feel like that does nothing for them, just having them basically skip the line in NXT, because that's basically what winning a championship is in NXT, is proving yourself that you're championship material. For instance, look at Stephanie Vaquer. So yeah, I don't think call her up, but Sol Ruka and Zarya, absolutely.
I love how they have no problem having Jada Parker around the ring during these matches, but won't put her in the ring for one.
That's not Jada Parker. Are you talking about Julia's?
Who's the chick with Julia?
Kiana James.
There we
Kiana
go.
James, interchangeable. Sorry.
All right, y'all. The main event was an ambulance match between Aleister Black and Damian Priest, the never-ending feud between these two that has been going on for over 6 months now. And I was wondering, I was curious because of a couple weeks ago, we saw these guys beat each other up with tables and chairs, and I'm like, okay, they're going to have some type of no DQ match, and it was an ambulance match. You have to beat your opponent up to the point where you can throw him in an ambulance and close the doors, right? and you can use anything you want, weapons, tables, and we saw everything. And this was like damn near like a 30-minute match, and it kind of took forever to kind of get to the point, obviously because it was a long match, but it started off really slow, nothing too crazy. It kind of felt like it was dragging a little bit, but towards the end, they really picked it up, and they really gave us a lot of amazing, memorable spots that we haven't seen in a really long fucking time. Like, we saw another fireball spot where Damian Priest got his revenge on Aleister Black, which was a nice little touch to when Aleister Black did it to Damian Priest a couple months ago. There was a spot where Damian Priest hit the razor's edge on the windshield of the ambulance. There was a couple table spots. And the big finale was Damian Priest got Aleister Black on the top of the ambulance and choke slammed him from the top down to the table, which looked, like they did it well. It was a good spot. So it was worth the wait. I mean, towards the end, it was fun. It was exciting. They did a lot of crazy shit to each other. I don't know if this was. I mean, for this, it was a long, long feud. I just hope this this is finally over, because these two guys did everything that you can possibly do to each other in 6 months. I feel like.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet for the sake of time. This feud is probably my least favorite feud of last year, because it went long enough to tell a 3-part story and still somehow accomplished nothing for either of these two guys, other than, hey, Aleister Black used to work here. Oh, hey, you know what he has in common with Damian Priest? They're both like goth punk metal guys. Throw them together. Okay. And? Oh, the feud's still going. Oh, okay. And that's it. Like, that's all I felt for the last 6 months, was them smashing their spooky action figures together and then like legit 50-50 booking the fuck out of it. And then they were like, well, I mean, we got to keep Damian busy till Rumble season. We really don't know what to do with Aleister. We could probably keep it going until at least right after the new year, right? Yeah, they're fine. Let's focus on the shit we actually care about. And here we are. Match was an ambulance match. It was crazy. It was decent. Took fucking forever. 30 minutes is a crime to me for an ambulance match, because it's a stupid stipulation. I always hate these types of stipulations. I hate the stipulations of like casket matches and you got to close something on someone to win. I hate those matches. Yeah, thank God it's fucking over.
Yeah, so just for confirmation, this feud is done. They advertised it like that. The finish of a half of a year-long feud with these two or something like that. But now go ahead and sue me for saying this, even though it's only the second day into the new year or into the year. This already has a contendership for me as match of the year. I go ahead and laugh at me all you want, but that's how much I like this match. I like this
It
match.
wasn't a high bar.
Sue me. But anyways, I liked the match. I liked it a lot. Fuck. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Fuck you. I hate when that happens. Whenever But the match was really good in my opinion. Definitely, if there's a spot in my mind where I'm like, what was the match of the year for 2026? This would definitely be one of the ones that I consider, because the match was good. It was well paced, in my opinion. There was a lot of cool spots, like when Zelina opened up the ambulance and there's Rhea Ripley.
That's a classic spot in an ambulance match, I feel like.
Yeah, so I always like ambulance matches unless it's Andre Chase and Ridge Holland. We don't talk about that one. So yeah, the match was amazing in my opinion.
I did absolutely love this match. I had so much fun with it. I'm not going to lie with you. So you're basically on your own there, Blood. But I will say that Rhea popping out, absolutely love that spot. It's a classic. But once again, Attitude Era. This was the other one where I just fucking screamed it because the last time we saw this type of match, it basically was the Attitude Era. So, yeah. Really? When was it?
Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
I
God,
forgot that happened.
I'm glad I did
Actually,
too.
technically, it was 2024 Halloween Havoc NXT Rich Holland
Yeah.
versus Andre Chase.
Yeah, on
But
the
that
main
one we don't
roster,
talk
it was the
about because it
first.
wasn't good.
Yeah, main roster, because if you remember, Braun Strowman tipped the ambulance over with Roman inside of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But my point still stands. I was absolutely screaming Attitude Era almost this entire time. Good old Damian Priest is digging into the fact that people call him the mini Undertaker, in which I've heard quite a bit between his entrance with that cape that he pulled up, made it kind of look like the bat wings that Undertaker hated, but he still had at one point. So that's what that came to for me. But Taker, especially with that choke slam at the very end to finally end this off, it just screamed Attitude Era, and you're digging into Undertaker.
Well, yeah, you guys, that was the first 3-hour SmackDown, and holy shit, man. This is what my Fridays are going to look like for the rest of the year. Fuck.
Have fun editing.
3-hour show.
Probably
But
just till
goddamn.
summer, because, like I said, I think the new format's going to be 4 Saturday night main events, 2 in the first half of the year, 2 in the last half, 2 European tours, 1 at the beginning, 1 at the end of the year, and then 2 times we're going to go to Saudi Arabia a year, and then I think we're going to wind up having 3-hour SmackDowns in the first half. They go down to 2 in the fall leading into winter like they did last year. I think that's the new format TKO is going with.
But on the bright side, we got a lot of new faces. We got a couple returns. So we got a lot of stuff that, they can cook up here for SmackDown that, we've never seen. Now this feud with Damian Priest and Aleister Black is finally over. So we're on to newer and fresher things on SmackDown, it feels like. So for that, I am excited for. We'll be keeping a close eye on SmackDown. But for now, we're going to be heading out. Be sure to check us out on Monday after Raw. This weekend we'll be doing some other stuff. And
I'm right here, Snug. I'll close it out for you.
Go ahead.
Thanks for kicking it with us, guys. That was the episode review of Friday Night SmackDown, the first of the year. Raw or back to 3 hours. If you like live content, kick it with us every Monday and Friday night after Raw and SmackDown go off the air respectively on Apple and Spotify, where we do live post-show reviews. And for bonus content, you can catch us on all the socials during the shows as the segments go off the air for reaction content, if that is your thing. Then catch us every Thursday night on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and that handsome Mexican Edgar over there do one-on-one, fan questions, random wrestling topics, and whatever wrestling topics are kind of present at the moment, as well as the fact, if you guys want to support the podcast, you can head on over to our TeePublic, where we have over 100 new designs just for you guys to support the podcast. Boys are repping it right now. We got hats, shirts, shorts. We got freaking bags. We got fanny packs for you Disney kids. We've got tons of shit. Awesome designs. TeePublic/Snug Wrestling right now to support the podcast. And if you are trying to find out where you can listen to us live throughout the week, we are always live on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook and YouTube, guys. So happy New Year. Stay safe, stay savage, stay snug. We will see you on Monday. But for the first SmackDown of the year, boys, that was what? One time for the one time? I said that was
4 letters.
4 letters.
One more.
Oh.
Yeet!